students. I'm Aqua Jelly. I'm Blue Gelatin's cousin, and I'm here to talk to you about the Schott Steam Elementary playground rules. Now, let's go. Let's talk about the rules. First, we're going to talk about Zone A. This is Zone A. Now, you'll notice there's many things you can do in Zone A. The first thing you need to remember is that if you're in Zone A, you should stay in Zone A. You have to choose what you're going to do. You've got to choose. Are you going to be in Zone A and play there, or Zone B or Zone C?
As you can see here, some are choosing to do gymnastics.
Choose when you go out to recess. We should stay in our zones. What was that? Stay in our zones? Yes, stay in our zones. Now,
this is the part of the playground you should not be. You cannot go past these cones. So if you're past the cones, you're not doing good. Also, don't climb on these crazy concrete things. Stay off of those. You could get hurt. All right. Now here's some stuff you can do. You could play tag. Why not play tag while you're out there? Zone A is perfect for tag. Uh-oh, these kids got a little too rough playing tag. Now here's a thing you can't do. You can't grab people by the neck when you're playing tag. I think some of these kids are playing cops and robbers or zombies, and when you play games like that, you sometimes get hurt. And no biting either. No biting in zombie games. So make sure you're not playing zombie games. Zombie games end up getting hurt. One thing you can do, though, is climb. These things are all for climbing. Notice how she's using her arms and she's going and she's being careful. If you're not careful, you're going to get hurt. And you don't want to get hurt. Now, you can also play jump rope in Zone A. These kids are playing jump rope very nicely and they're taking turns. Notice how these kids are on the monkey bars and they're taking turns. That's the important thing. They're not going two different directions. They're just going one direction and taking turns, and then they'll go back. They're not going two directions at once. Now I want to talk about the equipment do's and don'ts in Zone A. We've got the high climber, and we've got the monkey bars, and we've got the big toy. And these are what you should and shouldn't do. Now this is the high climber. The high climber is very dangerous. That is too high. You can't have your waist above the top bar. To be more like Brehan over there. See how his chest is about the top bar height? He can't fall off. These kids are doing it right. See how they climb? There, that's enough. Let's not get any higher than that. All right, good job, kids. Climbing on the high climber is dangerous. No tag, remember, again, on those. Oh, what is this, kid? What are we doing? Climbing up the slide? No climbing up the slide. That's a bad idea. Oh, you're just going to climb up and it's going to be... I don't like that at all. You know, you can't also be playing tag on the big toy. Please don't play tag on the big toy. You're just going to be running around and hurt somebody. The slide's for sliding, the climb's for climbing. Don't play tag on top of the toys. That's going to get someone hurt. See how they play tag? On the ground. You gotta play tag on the ground. Stay on the ground while you're playing tag. You can run around the equipment, just not on top of the equipment, okay? Now, this is that double bar slider. These kids are doing it right. They are sliding down and they're doing it the right way. But uh-oh, what if you did it the wrong way? You don't want to double up. See how these kids, they're two at a time. You can't go two at a time. That could end up getting people hurt. Don't go two at a time on that thing. You know what else you don't do? Climb up. You're not supposed to climb up. Don't climb up. Look what could happen. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Whew. Don't let that happen. That is the worst. But this is okay. Instead of going down one way, you could go down on your armpits. That's a crazy way, but you can do it. That's allowed. You can do that. Just don't climb. And don't, oh no, don't, no. Oh, what's she gonna do? Don't go backwards. Backwards is crazy. Don't go backwards. No climbing up. Don't go backwards. I can't stand to see that. You guys got to remember those things. This is the worst. Ooh, here's a great thing to do. Look at this thing. This is called the Hero Bench. This is also in Zone A. It's the Hero Hangout. And that bench, if you're sitting there and you see someone over there, find them and go make friends. Ask them to play with you. Go to the Hero Hangout if you need to make some friends. And make sure to be a hero and find some friends when you see them on the bench. See, there's plenty of stuff to do in Zone A. I encourage everyone to have some fun in Zone A. Notice these kids are playing tag and running around. I do want to mention, don't play tag on the big toy. Playing tag on the big toy, that's a no-no. Please don't play tag on the big toy. But you can stand and talk in Zone A. Absolutely. Stand and talk and do what you want. One other thing that we've got going on in all three zones is Foursquare. You can play Foursquare in lots of different places. So there's Foursquare here, there's Foursquare in Zone B and C. So if you're playing Foursquare or dancing in the Foursquare, you're good to go. Now there's lots of different rules for Foursquare, and we're going to have to go over those in a second. Now let's mosey on over to Zone B. We're going to have some fun in Zone B. Zone B has a couple of things. It has soccer, it has tetherball, and it has a place beyond the trees where you can play and dig and do pretend. Gonna be explaining, some of the students gonna explain the basic rules of tetherball.
Can't trespass.
Can't trespass. Okay, and what did you say else?
5 feet means when you hit the ball 5 times.
You can only hit the ball 5 times. Okay, can you touch the string?
Yeah,
You can hold the string with your hand?
when you say mega shot.
When you say mega shot,
Yeah.
that's the only time?
Yeah.
All right, show me. Play a game.
No. You should make it lucky. I touched the ball. Lucky.
You can only hit it 5 times, but you can throw it as many times as you want. You can only throw it with the string if you say mega shot, and you can only do that once. And you can't cross the line, right?
Okay, that's Zone B. You got soccer, Foursquare, you can play and talk and dig, and you can do tetherball. Now let's learn about the others.
What are you guys doing?
What are these students doing?
Doing like
What are you guys doing?
Oh, you're making a river?
Yeah, because this is our plan. We're gonna put water right here because right here, it's gonna flow over here. So then
This kind of play is okay. Just make sure you're not making too big of a mess and you clean up after yourself. Now, here we go with soccer. And we're going to learn about soccer from Mr. Enriquez. Mr. Edie was helping us out with tetherball and the digging. Now, Mr. Enriquez will help us out with soccer. Okay, guys, Mr. Edie here. Now, I want to talk to you about soccer rules. Now, there are some rules that will be specific to certain grade levels. 5th graders may have different soccer rules than 4th graders. And if you do not follow the rules, you will lose soccer. Soccer is a dangerous sport, and people often get kicked or hit, so we got to be real careful. Now, the most important thing is that the recess monitor will put you into teams, and those teams will play, and then the teacher or Mr. Enriquez or whoever it is will be the referee. You got to follow all their rules, and you only get into certain teams. What else, Mr. Enriquez?
Yeah, they're off the field. They're not playing. They're waiting. They're just here and waiting and watching.
So all the normal soccer rules apply. No hands, no manos. You got to keep the ball on the ground. No high kicks. And be responsible. Now, these students tended to lose their ball and it went out into the parking lot. Now, that's a place where cars are, so it's dangerous. Now, notice that they stay on the sidewalk as much as possible to walk back. That's the right way to do it. And the other way is they asked. You have to ask to go get your ball. Never go into the street without asking. Now let's listen to Mr. Edie talk to a student about what the rules are outside when it comes to the playground monitors, like Mr. Enriquez and Mrs. Toppy and all of those people. What do they say about that?
Who's the ref?
Mr. Enriquez.
And who has all the power?
Mr. Enriquez. This
Who gets to decide everything?
Mr. Enriquez.
Yes, Mr. Enriquez. So even if you say, no, we won, oh, whatever Mr. Enriquez says goes.
Okay.
Doesn't matter, or you don't play.
So red is out because you guys got first.
Red is out because you got first. So now you either sit on the sidelines or go play a different game. But no soccer. I don't want soccer anywhere but on this field.
Now this is something that really gets me. Please don't kick balls up high in the air. If you kick them up, they might go up on the roof. And if they go up on the roof, you're gonna lose them. And then we just won't have any balls. So don't kick them high. Don't kick balls high in the air. Period. Now let's move along to Zone C. Zone C is where you can play basketball. There's some great four-square things there, and you can play around with your friends. Now, a couple of things I just want to make sure to remember, that if you go out into the street, you have to ask to get your ball. You can never go without asking. So you can play basketball in four-square in Zone C, but you sometimes lose balls, so be careful. Also remember all the no-nos. One of the things we haven't talked about, you cannot pretend guns anywhere ever in the school, and you can't leave people out. If someone says they want to play foursquare, you got to let them play foursquare. If someone says they want to play basketball, you got to let them play basketball. You got to let people play the game you're playing. You can't leave people out. We're all friends in the school. So make sure you're being friends and playing right and sharing. You got to share all the balls, got to share the tether balls, and you got to share the basketballs. So just don't forget. Don't leave people out, and don't pretend guns. Now let's watch this game of foursquare. Mr. Edie's going to talk to these kids about what all the different rules of foursquare are. You got to follow the rules and play respectfully. And if you get out, you just leave. You don't argue.
Where the new kid comes in right here? Okay. And the king always stays in the corner? Once he stops being the...
Now that was a tricky one. Looked like he just dropped it in the zone. But remember, you got to kind of keep your hands moving. They allow you to bobble your hands a little bit. Some people don't allow that in foursquare. Also, just don't forget that you got to stay within the square. If you double bounce it in the square, you're out. And if you hit the line, you're out. So just watch how they do it, and they keep the ball moving. Try to... Oh, there he goes. He was out because it double bounced.
Wait, hey, explain to me, why was he out?
Because it bounced 2 times in the square. Yeah.
Bounced 2 times in a square.
Yeah, when
Okay.
it bounces 2 times in the square, I'm out.
Now, one other thing about foursquare. Now, some people like to do those super bounces, those mega bounces. Now, you got to decide whether you're going to allow that beforehand. And usually the king decides, so you can't always do that. Alrighty, that's a lot of the rules for foursquare. She lost her ball, and she asks, great job. That's the way to do it. But wait, there's one other thing they didn't do. Now look, she's dribbling the ball and playing with it while she comes back. Please don't do that. Just hold the ball to come and bring it back in. Okay, now these kids are playing basketball in Zone C, and notice how they take turns. Now sometimes you're allowed to bring your own ball, but even if you bring your own ball, you gotta share. Now they're taking turns and shooting baskets. That's the way to go. Uh-oh, but this ain't the way to go. You cannot give piggyback rides. It could be dangerous. Please do not do that. No, no! Alright, now look. The whistle is blown, and they're lining up. Oh, what are these guys doing? Looks like they're using the Hero Hangout in Zone C. And they're playing card games. Card games are okay to play. You can play card games and sit down. You don't got to do anything else besides that. That's a great job. Alright, now look at these. They're lining up. Are they in good lines? Are they lining up correctly? Oh, I like that. She's lining up straight and being respectful. The teachers are going to come. You better be ready for them. So when the whistle blows, stop all of your games and just line up. And if you don't, you get sent to the back of the line. So be careful. If you're not lining up correctly, you got... All right, that's about it for Zone C. I just want to remind you about the Hero Hangout. That is in Zone A and Zone C, and make sure you're using that if you're bored or you don't know what to do. And if you see someone there, go make a friend. Now we're going to talk about snow.
Okay, are you supposed
What do
to
you
throw
do in the
it?
snow? That's a little bit
throw it,
different.
but you gotta
Now,
make a
can you have
snowman?
snowballs? Nope.
Yeah.
Can you
Okay.
make snowman? Yes, you can make snowman. Now, we've got a little hill that happened here so we could get some sledding going. But you always got to do things with the help of the recess monitors. They're helping you out. Now, you always got to be careful in the snow. Don't be running too much. You could slip. Now, no throwing snowballs is the rule. But sometimes we have things set up so you have a special place to throw snowballs. Now these kids are lined up with the help of Mr. Enriquez, and they're throwing snowballs one at a time only at the targets. So if you want to throw snowballs only if there's a target set up, then you can, and only there. And never get in front of somebody. Always wait your turn
That's too big,
so no one
Nacho.
gets hurt.
That's too big,
that's
guys.
too big.
You can
Put
make-
those
you
big
can
ones
make,
down. You can only throw smaller
snowman
ones.
with
Thanks
that,
for
yeah.
showing us that, boys. Uh-oh, these two are not following the rules. They're throwing snow. Anytime you don't follow the rules or you don't be respectful to the recess monitors, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to tell you to take a timeout. Now that timeout's going to be on the wall, so it'll probably just take a minute or two, but you got to take your time and stand on the wall if you get in trouble. Just do your time and you'll be back to playing in no time. Thank you both for doing it quickly and doing it right. So that's it. Those are all the ways you can be a hero on the playground and follow the hero code. Just don't hurt anyone else. Don't grab people by the neck. Don't be too rough. Be safe on the toys. And just remember, those are all the things that'll keep you safe on the playground. And you will be heroes!